You say for like the third or fourth time between us, Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yeah.
What's actually going on there?
So besides him being my all-time hero, or at least one of them, since back in the very early '80s, for my sake, he's doing a concert tonight, and he's like world famous for creating these crazy events where he uses Houston as a scenery. Tonight he's doing it in VR, so can't wait to see the 72-year-old artist going in VR to do a concert.
That's amazing.
I'm thrilled. Yeah, but
I'm hearing from my producer now that we are live.
Oh,
so
cool.
let's keep away Jean-Michel Jarre and the virtual reality.
Yep.
My name is Jacob. I am a content creator, and I'm here with my name brother Jacob.
Yep.
You are in SynergyXR as
Chief Sales Officer.
Chief Sales Officer.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at the product, and mainly we want to showcase to you some of the features within our product. But before we dive into that, so that is actually 1 or 2, 3 good features today, but let's just hear a little bit about the company, SynergyXR.
Yeah. Sure. And just real quick, I love my role here because I get to talk to companies who are very enthusiastic and passionate about new technology. And guess what? So am I. So that's just a match made in heaven. So that I really love what I'm doing here. It's super nice. But SynergyXR, in super short, we're not going to spend too much time on this because this series is all about showing what some of the capabilities with the platform. But we've been around for quite a long time. We know what we're doing. I'm sharing my screen now, I think. And what we actually want to do is we want to be the world's leading platform in the corporate metaverse. And we can have, and we do have a lot of talks about what is that. That's, again, for a different session.
We already have webinars on that you can find on our webpage or here on YouTube. So if you want to look at that, wait until after this webinar and then go look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But just real quick, like I said, we've been around for quite some time. We've been working with some of the greatest companies in the world and are still. Like I said, I'm having some great conversations on a daily basis with very interesting companies from a big variety of different industries. So
extended realities are pushing right now.
It's pushing. It's growing by a lot. It's growing fast. So we've been around for a long time. What I really want to talk just really quickly about is that the way we work is rapidly changing. I think everyone can acknowledge that. Looking back for the past 2 years with Corona and pandemics and energy crisis and so forth, we need to constantly adapt and do things differently. And we need to kind of embrace new technologies and explore what's going on with this, even though that there's not necessarily a super defined use case for anything. So we need to dip our toes and figure out how can we use this technology in this.
Use cases are emerging all the time right now.
Yes, and that's another reason why I love my job, because, hey, we see a great platform here, and the way people use it in different cases, that's just super inspiring. So the way we work is rapidly changing, and companies really need to embrace that, hey, if we don't think in a different way, if we keep doing what we've always been doing, then we might end up in a tricky situation. No company is mentioned, none forgotten. Kodak. Digital photography is never going to be a threat to us. So I'll always be curious to what's going on with new technologies.
Yeah.
Where we work, Corona taught us we can work from home. The next generation want to work from everywhere. Hey, I want to spend 3 months in Bali working remote from there. Yeah, I would like to, and today it's possible because all we need is a Wi-Fi connection.
Not necessarily the funniest thing ever to sit on Zoom and work from home, though.
No.
But let's try and change that as well.
Yeah, I think there's at least a huge paradigm shift in that we don't necessarily need to be at the office from 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. We can work from everywhere and at different time zones, across different time zones in different locations of the world. Everything is possible. So we see a lot of flexibility coming in there. Another thing that we are seeing is the how we work. We are adapting new technologies, the phone, it's actually not that many years ago that the phone was invented, and
now it's not a phone anymore, right? It's a computer.
It's a supercomputer.
Yeah.
So
and we're going to showcase that today as well.
We are, yeah. So I'm going to share my screen on my phone a little later. Let's see if that's going to be fun. It usually works, and so how we work, that's also constant movement, constant change right there, and of course the why we work. That's also super important for like a couple of reasons. I mean, everybody wants to take care of the planet. Let's reduce how much we travel, how much we actually transport goods from A to B. If we can do that in virtual reality, hey, there's a gain right there.
Yes.
And besides that, we see a lot of our companies who are using XR technology to illustrate their purpose, so new employees can kind of get the big picture. Say one of our companies or customers are in the wind industry, so that could be difficult for a person whose job is to tighten the bolts on the wings so they stay on. You wanna see that happen, but understanding that big picture from a wind turbine in the North Sea to actually distributing electricity through power stations offshore to electronic grids to actually flipping on a switch in your apartment and you have light. That's hard to explain, but in VR you can actually show that big picture and give employees that purpose and the why they are working.
Yeah, so exemplifying why a cog in a whole system is actually very important.
Yes.
If that little cog didn't go around, everything will fall apart.
Somebody will be unable to switch on their dishwasher, and who wants that?
Yeah.
So last time we met, I'm not going to share any more slides, so don't worry. I'm stopping here. We want to show the product, and we had a session just a few weeks ago where we kind of showcased the ability to, hey, I don't have any digital objects. Hey, you can create your own actually. So we scanned a rock and we put that in VR and in AR, and we worked around with it. So it's actually super easy to create your own digital assets.
Yeah, basically what we showcased was how you can take the real world and put it into the digital, but also how you can actually place the digital world in the real world. Yeah. It gets complicated. That webinar is online as well, so you, after this one, go back and take a look at it. But it's going to make way more sense in an instance.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I sure hope so. So what we want to do is, so that was scanning an object. And now, hey, everybody can do that, or I hope so. It's not difficult actually, and there are free apps, and we can share that as well in the comments. What we want to do today is to scan a room. Yeah. And the question is, why would you want to do that? And
you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry for that. So the easy answer is because you can. Yeah. And again, that's how it is with technology. Sometimes you get a piece of technology and you just do it, and then you realize on the behind that that okay, I could use this for this use case. Yeah. But and if we imagine a use case, it's also something about creating spatial awareness, right? So that you make something very obvious, because everybody can take a picture, which is what you would do now that you have a phone. Yep. Just remembering past the phone, what you do is you would phone somebody up and say, so I'm in front of 4 walls and there's a roof and there's a problem in the house. What do I do? Then you could take pictures of it, but you would still need to know where to go to take that picture. Yeah. With a scan, not so much, because you capture the entirety of the room. Yeah. And that's basically what you're going to showcase now? It is. It is. And there's a term I just realized that we should use more often: spatial awareness. It's super difficult to create spatial awareness in a 2D picture. Yeah. With a 3D scan of a room or a situation, it's much more easy.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna share my. I'm gonna jump over to Teams here. Let me know.
This is a bit of the sad part of Teams when you're sitting there alone. Yeah. But there's a point to it.
Yeah, that's me having a meeting with myself all alone. But I joined my meeting with myself from my phone here, so I'm going to share my screen.
And basically, this is what somebody who came to SynergyXR to get a showcase of our product. Yeah. What they would see was something like this. You would showcase that you have the possibility of scanning something, but you can actually show it while you're doing it.
I do this like 5, 6, 7 times a day in customer meetings. on Teams. I share my screen. I join the session from my phone. I share my phone. People get inside my phone. That's a bit creepy sometimes, but it's okay. And they get to see what's going on my phone on a real easy manner.
And one of the things is we really want to emphasize here, this is live, and we've not pre-recorded this room. So this...
No.
Let's hope that everything goes exactly the way it should.
We're going to invite you into the podcast studio of SynergyXR.
Yeah.
And
you're going to see our producer in a short while, I think.
Yeah. Let's. So I'm going to step away from the microphone. So
yeah, I'll guide the viewers through.
And,
yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So basically, what Jake is doing now is he is taking his phone, going into to an app called Polycam. And inside Polycam, what he has the opportunity of doing is it would basically be the same as taking a video, but in reality here, he's scanning the environment.
Pretty much. I'm choosing a new feature. I don't know if the sound is okay, but I'm going to shout out. And I'm using the room scan capability. It's super fun. Let's see. So I'm going to tap record button once to begin. So welcome to the inside of the studio. Should kind of start measuring out now. You see how the lines are beginning to...
So the white outlines you see here is basically the start of a room plan. As you can see on the screen right now, for the viewers out there, he is actually creating the room while scanning here. So slowly but surely it is capturing. I think it has already gotten our two... places to put things, our storage area, and then it's going to try also to catch, now it's getting the walls. It has my producer here, is what you're seeing in the picture, Jens. It's not going to put Jens in the scan though, because it's actually, what's really smart about this is it recognizes both furniture and walls, and therefore you can create the entirety of your setup, and then the next bonus info comes the surprise comes in a short while, where we can actually join this room in virtual reality. But as you can see, we've gotten...
So here's my result. I can zoom in here, see how it looks like.
And now we have people sitting on the chair, so I'm a bit excited as to whether it could actually capture the chair. So it was like, no, there's a person sitting there. So it's just my chair that it missed.
Yeah.
It got everything else. And this is from a 2-minute scan.
Yep. So I want to share this scan now. I want to upload it to the Synergy platform, choosing GLTF as my preferred format. Hang on, I can step back.
You can do this from sitting?
I think I can. Yes, I can do this from sitting, so now you can hear me again. So I'm choosing the Synergy demo environment. I'm selecting it. I'm giving it a tag so that I can find it and clean up after myself real soon. Upload. So now it uploaded the scan that I did to SynergyXR. So I'm gonna stay on my phone just for a quick while, because I want to show you how to actually create a session, a VR session from your phone. A new capability that we did just recently. That's okay. I'm going off script here. So
you're going off script right now. So if you see me panicking, that's why. Then I can say in the meanwhile that if you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask on the chat, and we will see if we answer it here or if we get to it in a future webinar. But yeah, so you are now inside our lobby, I can see.
And you're still on my iPhone. So I'm gonna create a new room. I'm gonna just go a little further because it's not the biggest iPhone I have. I want to choose the gallery here because
we need space.
That's a nice space, and I need space right now for my scan here.
Oh yeah. So there's also a size of the scans. The scan that you just did, is that an accurate scan or is it like an estimate?
It's pretty accurate. Actually, it's using the LiDAR capabilities built in the iPhone, and it's down to like a centimeter, a quarter inch to actually in accuracy. So
for the layman out there, what a LiDAR does is simply just that it measures distance, and then it can also take contours of whatever room, but there's no textures on it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
No textures. We can show an example of a texture scan in a while here.
Okay.
I'm gonna add. So here we are. This is me. I already added my tag here, so I can find hopefully my poly. Let's see here. Poly. There you go. Let's put this into the meeting. I hope it's the right one. I think it is. So here we are. What is this? I'm still on my iPhone and I'm still getting, here we go. Welcome to, no, actually, yeah, I think, no, this is the one I did just a moment ago because I want to add another room. 1 second.
You want to add another room.
No.
But the thing is, right now, we're going through a phone into a computer, showcasing inside SynergyXR, our platform, how you can take an environment, a room, and place it, and then visit it.
Yep. Here we go.
There we go. That's the scan you just did, right?
That's the new scan where we didn't have your chair on it.
Yeah.
So what could be super interesting here is, so I'm still on my phone, and what we want to showcase as well is we're constantly on a daily basis working on removing friction, because having people to enter a VR room, then you need to put on your VR headset and you need to do your boundary and you need to set up everything, and it's friction. So in this case, I'm joining a VR session from my iPhone. That's removing friction and making VR accessible to all the people in the world who have an iPhone in their hand, and that's a lot of people. You can do this on an iPad as well. But for the sake of demonstration purposes, which is today's topic, I would love for you to join me in this meeting from your
Using
VR headset.
So the Oculus Quest 2 here, it's about $300-400 or something like that for a headset like this. And so instead of buying the PlayStation 5, go ahead and get the Quest 2. If not anything else, then to play Beat Saber.
Yeah, that's, by the way, super fun.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm not very good at it, but it breaks a sweat every time. So let's see if.
And I'm logging in right now. You guys are going to be able to see here. I can see Jake right now, and I am now inside the room.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna come in with you. Oh, here's Jacob, and I can see his hands because he's
I'm
got
on
the
VR.
controllers.
Yeah, I have hands.
So perhaps you could join me in the room, and let's see if you can find the. It looks like you're.
I'm not that tall right now.
No,
it's
you're
because there's a bottom part of the scan. But one cool thing here that we can just show is you can, of course, resize anything. So before it was into the proper size, but what we actually have the possibility of doing is just making it a wee bit smaller.
Yep.
And when we do that, we now have the correct height, and we can be inside the room.
Cool. And again, so the use case for this would be, hey, we need to see if some equipment can fit in this room. It's actually pretty accurate. If you have a 3D model of whatever equipment you want to put in this room, it's a fast and easy way to check something without putting the equipment on a transportation wagon, a truck, or anything, and then transport it from A to C. Could you pull up the pink stone that we did on the
Yeah, I was just looking for it. I found a plant first instead.
Okay.
So I will just be putting that into the room.
Oh, that's very nice. Is there boundaries on the table, by the way?
No, there's no boundaries on the table right now, I can tell you. You have the plant right now?
I'm letting go.
No, it's fine. You go ahead and take it.
But it's super difficult on an iPhone to move in 3D with my thumbs.
So what I'll do here is I'll just take this plant, and then I can make it into a better size for the room, and then I can just put it onto the table in here. So there you can see how easy it is to actually put something into the digital world. And you can get up close and personal, of course, when it's in VR. And because I'm sitting down on the chair right now, that means that my height is lower. But if I were to get up, I actually think that we would be at the same height. So as you can see now, we're standing in our office in the real life, inside the podcast studio, but inside SynergyXR, we are also standing inside the the studio. This is
Yeah,
quite fun.
This is very meta. Yes.
But you were talking about a textured scan a little earlier.
Yeah.
Could we take a look at that?
Yeah,
as well?
let's go outside of this room, and I want to add that to it because I did a scan just recently, actually earlier, from a meeting I was in with my colleague Torben, who joined us the last time. Hang on, let's see if I can add this. Oh, it's very small here. Synergy. Actually, perhaps I need to upload it again. So,
or we could see it through Teams on your phone if you want to.
I want to make sure that it's the right one. Hang on. So I'm jumping back to this is the Scaniverse scan that I did. And here we go. So here's the scan that I did. I want to upload that to the Synergy platform, so that we can have a look at it.
And basically, what the difference between the room plan and the texture scan that you're doing is that on the textured scan, you actually see all the surfaces and everything in there. So instead of just being furniture or the likes, you actually get to see what's inside the room. And in the plan scan, of course, it transformed everything so it just fit for the room plan instead. And what one could say is the different use cases of this is that the textured scan gives you even more spatial awareness. It might not be like you would in an HD movie, see the same level of fidelity, but it's actually good enough as to, for instance, be able to see different electrical installations or water pipes or the likes. And as you can see right now, Jake is simply just going through different scans he's done. It doesn't really take a long time to do these things. And you're starting the meeting up again?
I'm starting the meeting again, yeah.
Okay. And can I join you in there?
Yeah, feel free to do that.
Nice.
Feel free to do that. I
don't mind if I do.
You knew. Oh, different room. Again, so so now we're looking at a textured scan. Again, it's not very small letters here on my phone, said the old man with his glasses on. So meeting room, Sutherland, that's the one I just,
So you did this scan not very long ago?
Nope. So hang on. This is this perhaps is it a little elevated?
This is also a little elevated. I'll just put it down to the floor here. There we go.
And by that we actually managed to get Torben into this webinar again. So
so for those that saw the last webinar, Torben was the guest that talked to us, and this time around, Torben is also inside.
Hang on
here. And what I see in this is it's a fairly crude scan, but it's simply just of a meeting situation. So this is the difference between a room plan and a textured scan.
Yeah.
Where this would be the texture scan. And as you can see, as soon as there's windows or the likes, which is what we see outside here, it has somewhat more difficulty picking it up. But as long as you have 4 walls, the texture scan is actually quite accurate. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And for the sake, again, the use case in this case could be someone is at a remote location and needs help to identify what 4 machines am I going to fix in what order. And instead of the old-fashioned camera, if you could do this and upload that to HQ and have expert help from somewhere at HQ at far distance, that spatial awareness, that's a huge help when you are talking to problem solving anything. This could be the bottom of a ship. This could be the bottom of some big engine at a mining construction site, or something completely different.
Oh yeah, so it actually lets you capture anywhere in the real world. So basically, if your phone can see it, so can VR.
Yes.
When using the Synergy platform.
Yes.
And maybe we can end on a last note here. If there's no questions out there, again, feel free. If you have a question, do write it in chat, and my producer will of course hand it over to us, and maybe we'll address it. But one thing to note here is we've just used the phone to scan something.
Yep.
We've then joined a session on the phone. We've connected that session with VR glasses. And in theory, we didn't do it this time around, but in theory, we could also join that room through the PC.
Absolutely.
And that's because SynergyXR is cross-platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
That's...
and again, back to the accessibility point you had earlier.
Yes, because, hey, if you're at the whatever remote location, construction site, ship engine, you don't necessarily have all tools available. So having a phone, I mean, a lot of people have a phone handy these days, and so that's a great way to expand the way we work remotely with new technology.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's, I'll just ask Jens here, do we have anything from any viewers, or should we pick up on next time through a webinar?
There is one question being asked, which is, can you guys talk about SynergyXR platform? What is it?
Yeah, so...
how long time do we have?
Yeah.
I mean, I have all day now.
Yeah, could you briefly give me the elevator pitch? What is SynergyXR?
So when I get that question, and I'll try to do it really brief, but the SynergyXR platform, it's a platform that encapsulates the virtual reality, the augmented reality, and the mixed reality into one platform, independent on devices. So like we just said, we can access a VR room from an iPhone, from a PC, or from an Oculus or Quest. Meta Quest is the name these days. And work together with 3D objects, with 2D objects like pictures, like PDFs, and of course we can add movies and sounds into this new metaverse. That's the new way we're gonna work, and exactly how that's gonna look, we already see a lot of great use cases. But I'm also very aware of the fact that we're only just dipping our toes in how we use this new technology. And being where I am, talking to great companies who are dipping their toes, and sometimes a little more than that, that's super inspiring to have a peek into that future of how companies are going to use our technology.
Yeah, and one thing to note about it is it's not only a new way of presenting. I think it's a very important point you make there. It's a new way of working.
Yeah.
It's a new way of interacting with each other. And given the fact that not only from an environmental standpoint, but also just from happiness and everything, you don't need to travel so much anymore. You can solve your issues at a distance because you're actually in a room together. Be it digital, and it's not the same as the physical world. We're not replacing anything.
No. It's a supplement or a complement. So by all means. So
SynergyXR, a presentation platform that lets you work in a new way.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah,
it's so much, and that's the beauty and the beast of it, because it's like the Swiss Army knife with a lot of different moving parts, and depending on what you need it for, whether it's remote support, whether it's the digital showroom, whether it's making sure that surgeons know where arteries are when they are operating on patients. I mean, the use cases are so many.
Yeah, and again, we have a lot of webinars out there telling about our platform and how it's used already, but also just about how the metaverse is used from a broader scale. And that's not what we're here for today. No. Today, it was presenting the feature of being able to scan an environment.
Yep. And working with that.
Exactly. And the last time around, we showed how to scan an object. Exactly what we're going to be doing next time. I think you had an idea about maybe looking into showrooms and start dipping our toes into that. But I thought immediately, that's a big subject. Maybe we should make a longer webinar about that. So maybe it's going to be us dipping our toes into it and then following up with an even bigger webinar about it at some point.
I love that.
Let's just take a look here again at our favorite producer, Jens. Are there any other questions?
So we have a couple more questions, one of them being, are there any plans for it to be released on Android?
So first and foremost, yes, it is our plan to be on as many platforms as possible. Exactly when it's going to happen, that's not dated right now. So at the moment, we are on PC, we are on iOS, as you just saw here, and we're on the Oculus, and we're on Microsoft HoloLens. But of course, at some point in time, we're working on also diving our toes into the whole Alphabet Google world and see what's happening there.
Yeah. And since I'm in sales, I'm not allowed to talk about future planning or anything, and I don't want to know anything about it. I'm so focused on what we have, which is awesome. So, but I understand the question from Android users. They want to see it as well. But
yeah, and we are getting the question, but it's a work in progress, and it's going to be there when it's going to be there. Yeah.
All right. And the final question is, what does it cost? And can you try for free?
Oh. You're good on that one, Jake. That's your specialty.
I'm allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, you're allowed to talk about that.
It's you can definitely try it for free, by all means.
For how long can you try it for free?
Up to a 30-day trial we have that kind of takes you through all the different elements. So we have a little nurture flow that keeps you educated on that. So it's not like you don't have to splunge in the pool. You can do it slowly. And
where can you do that? Do you have to find you on LinkedIn and ask, can I try for free? Or how do we do that?
Hey, feel free to do that, but there's an easier way.
There's an easier way.
SynergyXR.com is your friend for getting started on a free trial.
Okay.
So pricing, real quick, from €99 per user per month, and then you're started. So it's not
and that
super
gives you
expensive.
Access to all platforms, everything.
Gives you access to everything you've seen, and access to a lot of our template rooms. You saw some of them today, the big room we were in, where you can kind of start decorating and playing around with your own.
Oh, so you don't have to make your own environments, though?
Nope.
There's some pre-populated in there as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's super cheap.
Yeah,
actually too cheap. Yeah.
Why not get started today?
Yeah.
But anyways, what we really want to say is, if you want to try it, do try it for free. For us, it's really, really fun, but it also changes something. It matters. It makes a difference, and especially if you have the iPhone, a PC, or an Oculus Quest 2, just get started right now, and otherwise go get one of these items and get started that way.
Absolutely. That's the only way to learn.
So with that out, then let's just say thank you this time around.
Yeah.
We have a monthly sneak peek like this, recurring. So I'm going to see you again in November, and hopefully you're going to be there as well, Jake.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If I get the invitation.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Thank you very much.
And we'll take a look at showrooms maybe next time. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to keep you posted on LinkedIn under our event page, where you can follow what's going to happen in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Jean-Michel Jarre.
Back to Jean-Michel Jarre.
I'm so looking forward to seeing his show tonight.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's going to be so good.
Why are not? Oh, you're going to be there in VR.
I am.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
created an account in VR chat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to be like a Kermit the Frog. I don't know. Look for me.
So a small free commercial right there for Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yeah. Hey, you don't need it. So
no, you don't. He's 72 and still banging.
Yeah.
So with that ado, we can go ahead and end the stream. So thanks for the